Okay, let's start it. Where is okay. Okay, go ahead.
Namo Fundamental Teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. Namo Fundamental Teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. Namo Fundamental Teacher Shakyamuni Buddha.
Okay, let's do this.
The unsurpassed, deep, profound, subtle, wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million eons is difficult to encounter. Now that I've come to receive and hold it within my sight and hearing, I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual meaning.
Okay. Thang Như, Miss Thang Như told me that she cannot attend yesterday class today class as well because he is his son is in the emergency.
Oh no.
Yeah, she went to she took her son to the ER. I hope the boy doing okay.
Did she say what for?
Huh?
Did she say what's wrong?
No, she did not say what's wrong, and I did not ask. And she asked us to include him in our prayer. I said, yes, we will do that for him.
Wow. Yes.
Yeah, I hope it's okay. And Tammy is busy to today her mother's birthday.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. Go back to the question you just asked. Practice without understanding is very dangerous. The reason is the more we sit meditation, the more we gain the ignorance. Why? Because all the state of the mind, it occurs in during the meditation. You have no idea to be able to know which one is the right, which one is the wrong. And the self or the arrogance increasing very quickly. And sometimes we attach to the state of the mind during the meditation. We say that I be able to achieve this level and that level. Whenever we have a thought like that, that is the wrong view. Period. And many people nowadays, I saw they claim themselves they are arhat or whatever. And it's crazy. And that they were the one who been controlled by the demon and become the slave of the demon. Because the demon, they are very good at that thing, especially whenever we have the thought of craving or desire. All right, they know very well. They will use that and they control us. Okay, let's say that you want to attend it and that, and they will make you just like that. You'll be able to attend that state. And one, they make you be attached to your craving, then you do. Your life is done. Your spiritual life is done. They will use it, they will spoil you, they will destroy you. Therefore, in the Zen tradition, in our country, I think in China as well, whenever they reach certain state, they have to open the Buddha teaching. Use that the guide to certify, to make sure whatever they see is according to the Buddha teaching. because we are the ignorant, right? If we don't base on the light, the darkness always there. So the Buddha teaching is the light. It will make sure that the darkness arise in us is not there. That is very harmful. And I saw that. And you know what? If we not fortunate to be able to meet the good teacher, and they are the one who teach us, they teach in their own way. If they foolish, they will make us to become foolish. Does that make sense?
Yes.
This is scary.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather don't learn anything. Instead of learn with the foolish, even a short time. So the one who only know the theory without practice, they will become more wrong view. You know why?
Yeah, I mean, because I don't know for sure, but my sense of it is that, yeah, without the practice, I mean, the teaching, the understanding serves the practice, and the practice serves the understanding. So it doesn't continue to grow. I mean, understanding by itself is just thinking. If it doesn't translate into action as well, then what has it really done? It would just be entertainment then.
And you know what? It will not be a part of us, right? Because we don't practice, you will not become experienced with the Buddha teaching. Then the teaching will not stay with you. Right? So the teaching is not stay with you. That means you will not be able to retain that, to understand that properly. And the more we explain without practice, the more we will become in the wrong view. Because you don't truly understand it. And we have to be careful. So we have to balance it to the point. Let's say that I witnessed this a lot. The people I know, they are the one who, before they recite the Mahayana Sutra. And later on, they go and learn the Vipassana meditation from the Theravada. Vipassana it's not really the Buddha teaching, but it's invented by the one of the Burmese lay person. And he used the four foundation of mindfulness meditation, and he adapt and he invent his own method based on the teaching. And you know what? Because the Theravada, they don't like the Mahayana Sutra, and they are the one that don't believe in the Mahayana Sutra because they think that did not come from the Buddha. And they usually, whoever learned with them, and they say that those Mahayana Sutra is not the Buddha teaching. Then you know what? Later on, these people come back and cursing the Mahayana teaching.
Mm.
You see how dangerous? So, and when we learn the Mahayana teaching, it's so beautiful. is profound and very profound. Beautiful. How could a person can dare to say that, to against the good teaching like that? Because the ignorant. So we have to be very careful. So the right view is make sure that we understand the Buddha teaching clearly. Whenever we hear someone say something, we should not believe in it right away. This is the Buddha teaching in the Kamala Sutra.
Mm-hmm.
We should contemplate on whatever they say to make sure the saying is aligned with the right view. So we have to be careful. And remember, most of the Mahayana teaching, right? The Buddha said that when the one who explained the sutra, we should not follow word by word and explain. You know why? This will make the Buddha of the 3 period of time okay, give me 1 second. I try to understand this English. Give me 1 second. Okay, hold on. Let me type in the Vietnamese. Yep. Okay. No, not this one. 1 second. That means it's the Buddha teaching it. The text by text, it's just it's just a metaphor. The Buddha, it doesn't mean that that's what the Buddha want to say, but it just gives you an example and give you the metaphor. You have to understand the meaning behind it. Does it make sense?
Yes. Oh, Oan Ung. I translated that one, OANUNG, but it's changing. It says unjust or faltering. Oh,
faltering. Okay, faltering. That means that means that's not what the Buddha means. Even though the Buddha said word by word, but if we follow word by word from the sutra, and we explain word by word, then we will not be able to understand the metaphor or the meaning, the profound meaning from it.
So like the finger in the moon?
Yeah. But if we explain the Buddha teaching without base on the sutra, this is the demon speaking. Okay, so we have to be very careful. Okay, all right. Let's go back to what we learned. Okay. We continue on the king, right? And remember, we learned this thing last time, right? Okay, go ahead and read the 21 or 20 of this thing. Let's try from beginning. Yeah.
Then the Buddha said to Ajatasatru, O great king, I shall now talk to you about the pith of wonderful Dharma. Listen to me carefully with all your mind. The common mortals should always meditate on 20 things. This body is empty, and there is nothing there that is undefiled. It has no wholesome root in it. There is no adjustment in birth and death. One falls into a deep pit, and there is no place where one may have no fear. By what means can one see the Buddha nature? How can one practice meditation and see the Buddha nature? Birth and death are always the cause of suffering, and there are no eternal bliss, self, and the pure. It is not possible to segregate oneself from the 8 inopportune situations. One is always pursued by enmity. There is not one Dharma that can shake off all things that exist. One is not emancipated from the 3 fortunate realms.
Okay, we stop right here. We maybe we go one by one.
Okay. So this body is empty and there's nothing there that is undefiled.
Cô đóng cửa lại. Okay, good. All right, William. So the body empty and then nothing there, that is undefiled.
Yes, that, well, the body is totally dependent upon circumstances. It comes about because of favorable causes and conditions to its existence. You know, we need to breathe air, we need to drink water, we need to have food. So it's
But why the body empty?
Because it's dependent upon all of these other conditions. The body of itself doesn't exist outside of these favorable conditions.
Okay, because they are impermanent and they know true self, right? From it.
Yes.
They're nothing and that is undefiled. What do they mean by undefiled?
Undefiled would be nothing that's that's pure, that does not have some sort of mark of suffering on it. Yeah.
Remember, we contemplate on the first foundation of the mindfulness, right? When we contemplate on this body is just like the skin, the bed of stinky, all the thing, all the organ, all the thing that inside this body, it's stink. It's very impure.
Yeah, and I mean, is the source of a lot of bad actions. I mean, a lot of desires come from the fact that we have a physical body. The desire to taste things, to have pleasant sensations, to have comfort. So, to look upon beautiful things, to have visually like nice clothes compared to someone else, or a nice house compared to someone else. So it can be the motivation for all sorts of actions that step on other people's happiness for the sake of securing comfort and pleasure for the body.
And it have no wholesome root in it, right?
Yeah, and this one we discussed last time, because I feel like, the Buddha nature is the source of all phenomena. So in one sense, I think we could say that, the root of the body ultimately is the Buddha nature, but the body itself, one can't find freedom by just looking into the body itself.
No, the body itself is not the Buddha nature.
But I mean, like, ultimately,
the body is just a form.
But like in the Surangama, they say all phenomena are ultimately the matrix of the thus come one. So
Mhm.
like in that sense, I'm saying that like if we take it to like a lofty sense that it
Mm.
is, but on the more like most people don't experience the body in that way. Like
Yeah,
that's
I think this is the Buddha talk to the general people, the
mm,
common people, right? So actually, when we have body, that's how we pray come, good or bad, it's still common.
mm-hmm,
That's why when we do good deed, because we want something, right, in return, right? When we pray bad deed due to the craving, right? So therefore, the body have no wholesome root in it because the body, the root cause of the trouble. Even though we pray a lot of good deed by helping many people, and in the first life we pray a lot of marriage come from the body. The second life we enjoy the marriage. At the same time we pray bad karma. And the third life is we will pay for it in the three evil world, evil realm. Right?
mm-hmm.
Do you understand why the people who pray a lot of good deed, they on the third life they will go to the three evil realm?
Yes, Tay, yeah, because yeah, being born into blessings, one doesn't necessarily practice wisdom, and
Mm.
those blessings can make it easier to act upon selfish desires.
Right, just like a lot of millionaire, they only care about their profits. They don't care about environment or other people or the well-being of other people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they just do it. That means when they do the good deed in the past, they using the money, they using their labor, but they don't have the time to practice how to transform the mind. That's what we call the wisdom. Therefore, when they come into the second life, they just enjoy it, but they have no idea, they have no dharma to help them to transform the mind. So all the seed of greed, hatred, and ignorance in their alaya consciousness is carried over to second life. And when we enjoy the blessing, those seeds become stronger. And those seeds will become the bad mental formation. And from that, we pray bad karma. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There is no adjustment in birth and death. What do they mean by that?
That there's no our preference doesn't come into play when it's time to be born or time to die.
There is no negotiation.
Yeah.
Let's say that we're going to die on the 3 o'clock in the morning. And we say that, oh, please give me another minute. I need to do this thing before I leave. I want to die on the 3:01. No, you have to go 3:00.
Mm-hmm.
So no adjustment. One fall into a deep pit. There is no place where one may have no fear.
I don't know here. I mean, clearly this is like similar to if someone ends up in the hell realms. But even in being a human, one can find oneself feeling like they're stuck in a deep pit and surrounded by fear. Um, so I'm not sure exactly what this is, other than like when we exist, this situation can happen.
Actually, yeah, that's correct. You are saying we don't have to wait until we fall into the three evil realm, right? Think
Mhm.
about the people who are depressed, right? They just
Yes.
fall into the deep pit, right? And they
Mhm.
stuck in that mindset for a long time. Eventually, it leads them to commit suicide.
Mhm.
So Well, no, where one have no fear. Well, everywhere they will be fear.
Mm-hmm.
And even though right now, even though we know, we understand the Buddha teaching, we also practice, but do we sure that when we die, we go where? Do we know where we go?
Mm-hmm.
No, that means uncertainty. This is fear, right? It's fear.
Yes.
By what means can one see the Buddha nature?
Yeah. I mean, contemplating. So this is the all mortals should meditate on these 20 things. So meditate on how can one see the Buddha nature. My understanding from the teachings is that the Buddha nature is just our original mind, devoid of ignorance, greed, and hatred. So it's by a like a passive return to the mind just as it is, undisturbed.
So let's say that who were we are before we born into this world, right?
Mm-hmm.
When in the Zen tradition, they always ask that. What were we before we become, we born into human world, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't even know who we are, right? So the whole idea is to, when we contemplate on this thing, it's keep remind us. This is the whole idea of the practice. That we need to know how to practice to be able to see the Buddha nature. That means the pure, right? The pureness of our. In the Alaya concept, even though we have a lot of impure, right? But we do also have pure nature. And therefore, this is give a hope to us. If we practice, we can be able to achieve. But how do we achieve? Right? This is help us, always remind us to learn and try to practice according to the Buddha teaching. So this is a whole purpose. Not practice for to have a good retribution or to have a good result in the material world. No. This is not the ultimate practice. So we should be stay away from become famous, become well known, or become. The more we in those things, the more it will make us increase in craving, and we will be stuck in the trap that we are the one lay out for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And this is both usually for the leper, for the monk and the nun. This is hard to overcome because of the trap of craving, desire, and the status of the self, right? Very tough. It's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, did you remember I told you that the Arahat, right? They saw all phenomenon. It's a delusion.
Mm-hmm.
Buddha and Bodhisattva in the Flower Adornment Sutra also see the same thing, just like Arahat. But what the difference between the two?
And the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas still practice compassion.
Why they be able to do that, but not Arahat?
You know, I think because it seems like,
Arahat or Pasika Buddha, the same thing.
yeah, to me, it seems like the stability of their realization hasn't fully matured. So it seems like there's still, I know they've overcome the mark of self,
Mhm.
but there's still some sort of small residue, it seems like, that keeps them from like seeing all things as one from an experiential point. Because if they remember their suffering from before they achieved arhatship, then they would think, other beings don't see things as illusion. And somebody was kind enough to help me. How can I not help someone else? Was it an illusion for me when I was suffering? It wasn't an illusion for someone before they achieve arhatship. It was like it was real, and their suffering was real, and they were grateful for the release. So how could one think that other people, it won't be the same?
Okay, this is the main difference between the Theravada teaching for the emptiness, the nature of emptiness. For them, it's not clear, right? But the nature of emptiness in Mahayana, we call the ultimate wisdom. Yes, Buddha and Bodhisattva also see all phenomenon, include the living being. It's an illusion. It's not real. But the difference is, to their eye, they see illusion. But to the sentient being, they see real. Does it make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Because the sentient being see things real. Everything we see is real. It's not illusion. Because of that, therefore, the Buddha and Bodhisattva have the great compassion and love and kindness to resolve the Bodhicitta and practice the motivation, due to the motivation of the love and kindness and compassion, they be able to practice the Bodhicitta through the Bodhisattva path. Because they want to make sure all the living beings who see all things is real should see things illusion. That means bring them from the ignorant into the awakened. That's the whole purpose of the Bodhisattva path. Help them to be liberated from the suffering. Because when you see things real, it suffers. But the Arahat or Pasika Buddha, they stop right there. They only see everything is illusion. Therefore, they have no motivation to practice, to generate the bodhicitta, to practice the love and kindness and compassion through the path of Bodhisattva path. They do not have that concept. And therefore, for the Arahat or Pasika Buddha, they do not see the Buddha nature clear. They don't see clear. And there is no such thing called Buddha nature in the Theravada teaching. They don't have that. They don't even know they Buddha nature because they don't believe in the Arya consciousness. Does it make sense? But we are fortunate that we learn the Mahayana teaching, and therefore we understand the true compassion of the Buddha and Bodhisattva. Want to make sure that we see things as illusion. That's why through the four Dhamma seal, that means impurity, suffering, impermanent, and no self. Or sometimes they call impurity, no, not impurity, suffering, impermanent, emptiness, and no self. Nhớ bạn đang dạy. Hello? Anyway. So you understand, right?
Yes, Dave.
So, yes, in here, the Buddha teaching us those four Dhamma seal in the Theravada is no longer applicable to the Mahayana teaching, but it's still very useful for us to practice. Very useful, right? Because in the Mahayana teaching, just like the Mahaparinirvana, it talk about the Buddha nature. Therefore, Buddha nature is permanent. Therefore, it's ultimate bliss and pure, right? And there is the true self. But when we think about the Buddha nature, that means we think about the whole universal law of the universe. It's not an entity. And we're talking about the self, it represents for the whole thing. That's why when the one be able to attend the Buddha, they attend the Dhamma body. This is the self. The reason is the Buddha teach the Theravada for Dhamma seal because the Buddha want to reject the external religion teaching about their permanent bliss, ultimate bliss, pure and self, right? Because those teaching is not the right teaching. Therefore, he used this for Dhamma seal to counter that bad teaching. But when we are ready with the strong foundation, with strong right view and contemplation, now we can be able to understand the Mahayana teaching in the right way. Does that make sense?
Yes, Dave.
Okay, number 6. How can one practice meditation and see the Buddha nature?
Yeah, so this is the core goal of Zen. And my understanding of it is that one gradually stops spinning the wheel of thinking, of making distinctions, of protecting preferences, but simply allows the that thinking mind that's always trying to figure it out, change it, fix it, get somewhere, to allow that to relax, to allow that to like become still. And then when that's still, then it is possible to somehow, see the Buddha nature. And I understand that.
If that's the case, so the external religion, the guru from the external religion, they are very good at meditation. They can attend the 4th state of meditation in the form as well as in the formless. How come they cannot see the Buddha nature?
Well, I think there are all sorts of ways for thinking to persist, and to even like we talked about at the beginning, for meditation to reinforce the idea of self, because it's like, oh, look at this amazing experience I had, so the meditative experience can reinforce a sense of self, and a sense of like specialness or arrogance. So it's not really that in that case, the mind is still like clinging, as opposed to taking letting go of preference, in the sense of if something is pleasant, one doesn't grasp onto it. If something is not pleasant, one doesn't push it away. One doesn't look for any particular thing or move in any particular direction, but simply knows that the nature of the mind is like the true nature. I mean, like the true nature is this Buddha nature, that it can't be attained. We can't get to it. We can't, like, you know, it's already the essence of what we are.
You remember that in the Theravada teaching, the Buddha teaching about the Eightfold Path, right? In the Eightfold Path, from right view all the way to right view mindfulness and meditation. After all, even the 37 supporting Dhamma teaching to help them to attend the Arahat or Pasika Buddha. Do you think with that they can be able to see the Buddha nature?
I guess not, because I think, like, from the Buddha nature is the source of like the true right action, which includes compassion. And if they're seeing everything, if they're not acting compassionately, it seems that some aspect is still obscured.
So yes, the right mindfulness, all those things, it helped them to be able to see through the no self, right? That is the whole idea. Help them to be liberated from the notion of the self. Help them to be liberated from the notion of impurity, as well as the four seal of the Dhamma, the four Dhamma seal. But they cannot be able to see the Buddha nature. The only thing that they for the Mahayana Sutra, yes, the meditation is not only that, it goes beyond. That means okay, let me. This is, of course, we don't have the experience in the meditation, but we only talk in the level we understand from the Buddhist teaching in general. But so yes, the six consciousness, right? This is the mind consciousness. This is where the mental formation appear. This is the monkey mind. Yes, the other religion meditator, they can be able to let this thing calm down. And they be able to see some, that means this barrier, it's no longer there. They be able to see through the storehouse, the data a little bit, but not too clear, right? Because they still have this one. But if they be able to this one to transform this one for the one who in the form.
Oh, Tay, you're not sharing the screen right now.
Oh, I did not. Okay. Okay, this one right here, right? The mind constant. That means even all the religion meditator, they can be able to calm down the monkey. When they calm down the monkey, that means the mind become clear. They can be able to see through the some of the data in the surface, but not deep in here. Therefore, they be able to depend on the level of the meditation. Maybe in the form realm, they be able to see few past life in the past. When they go to the formless, they can see 1,000 or even 10,000, right? Because they be able to transform this to subtle the self, right? The self become very subtle, right? But for the Arahat, they be able to transform this, right? And they be able to see through and they be able to see the 84,000 of the past life, 84,000 of the future life. And they stuck right there. Because, yes, they be able to transform this, but they do not have the ultimate wisdom. So how do we be able to practice? And so we can see the Buddha nature here. That is the whole purpose of the Mahayana teaching. Yes, you bring up one of the very good one, the Bodhicitta. The difference between the Theravada is they see all phenomenon is illusion. They stop right there. They have no motivation of the Bodhicitta. Right? Therefore, they cannot be able to transform all the seed they pray, the bad seed or the good seed. Doesn't matter good or bad, it's still duality. Does it make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So all those seeds here, they have in the past, they cannot be able to transform it. They just frozen it. They frozen this storage. They don't have any thought. And they do not have any motivation as well. But for the Bodhisattva and in order for the Bodhisattva to practice the Bodhisattva path, they understand, okay, yes, they see everything is illusion. But for them, yes, what about the living being, the sentient being? They see everything is real. Therefore, out of the compassion and loving kindness, they are the one who take the responsibility to make sure all this being will become transformed. Instead of seeing it real, now they seeing it illusion. And that's why they will develop they make the vow and they develop the love and kindness and compassion, right? All the good seed that they develop when they practice the Bodhisattva. When they practice the Bodhisattva, right? All those good seeds become so strong. It will transform all the bad seed, because when the light comes, the darkness will dispel. Right? All the bad seed, it will transform, become good seed. The good seed come from where? Come from the bad seed. From through the practice of the Bodhicitta through the Bodhisattva path. But we have to be very careful. Yes, you want to say something?
I was wondering about how, like, that phenomena, that example might show up. Like I got kicked out of school in 8th grade, but because that could have been like a bad karmic retribution, right? But then because I got kicked out of school, I went to the library and I got a book on Buddhism. Like if I hadn't gotten kicked out of school, I wouldn't have gone and had that book. Now this is, I'm just trying to take a small version of that example of like a bad seed turning into a good one.
Well,
is it something like that, but on a a different level?
Actually, this is how I see it. The reason we got kicked out of school because we are still ignorant, right? We don't see things clearly. Mm-hmm. And that's why, but in the past life, because you are the one, I think it's you definitely, you have a very strong root into Buddhism. Very strong. And maybe in the past life, you also practice Bodhisattva path and you also make the vow. But when we come to this life, we don't remember. But those vows, it become the invisible power. It will protect us from harm. Let's say that, yes, we come to this world when we don't know the Buddhist teaching, we still don't know which one is good and which one is bad. But due to the condition we pray, not bad, right? Maybe out of the invisible power of the vow that we made in the past, it's the one protect us from walk into the bad path. Does it make sense?
Mm-hmm.
This is important because I've been through this many times. I experienced this quite a bit. They don't want you because the power of the past life, they will protect us to make sure that we don't walk into the wrong path. And therefore, when you went to the library, you'll be able to see the Buddhism book, and therefore it will open your mind at that time because you already have all these things already in your alaya consciousness. And when you read to one, you see everything. It brings everything back in life, right? And you become very familiar. Oh, all these things, it's familiar with me. There ain't no strength. That means you don't have a difficulty of approach the Buddhism. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But other people, not easy for them to approach the Buddhism. If they have a lot of bad seed and bad affinity to the Buddhism, no, it's not easy for them. So, yes, even though we come to this life, we don't remember at the beginning, but the condition that we pray may be bad. Due to that bad condition, it will give us the good condition due from our power vow that we have in the past. It's the one protect us. So don't afraid. That's why in Mahayana Sutra, vow is the most important. One of the most important about. So in order to see the Buddha nature, we need to understand the Bodhicitta, and we really understand it, and we know how to make a vow to benefit others. And this is beginning to transform all the bad seed we have into the good seed. And this will come very strong good seed here, right? Very strong. Oh, we over.
Are we? Oh yeah, my daughter came in, so that's a clue. That's a clue that I'm over. Okay. Yeah.
But I just want to make sure that therefore let's say that if we only practice the wisdom but we do not practice the marriage, right? We just like the Theravada, then we will not be able to see the Buddha nature. Okay. Anyway, stop right here. Okay, go ahead.
May every living being, our minds as one and radiant with light, share the fruits of peace with hearts of goodness, luminous and bright. If people hear and see how hands and hearts can find in giving unity, may their minds awake to great compassion, wisdom, and to joy. May kindness find reward. May all who sorrow leave their grief and pain. May this boundless light break the darkness of their endless night. Because our hearts are one, this world of pain turns into paradise. May all become compassionate and wise. May all become compassionate and wise.
Yeah, I will see you next week. Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Tay.